and she's big on astral body harvesting. And I was, from what even my higher self showed me in the astral plane one time, spirit guide. She showed me that her, Tim Burton, Isaac Mizrahi, and Zendaya all had homes situated in my pathway in the astral plane, meaning that I was made a sacrifice to them. And again, in 2014, these people came to me, wanted me to sign a soul contract, and I refused. But through Zeus, who created a child higher self that easily got defeated by these evil-ass entities, she was meant to protect my blessings, which she couldn't do, as well as a weaker higher self. She was meant to set the tone by being sacrificed herself as a foil for me to no longer be able to not only not get my blessings back and be going back and forth with this evil motherfucker, but to have all of that render me into a sacrifice. I'm trying to remember everything that I need to remember. So with that being said, there was a soul tie created between me and them people. It's 3 people. I keep hearing of a Native American, but I keep hearing it's physically a Native American. I don't believe that. I saw it was a wetback. It's a bunch of Beaners. But this, again, it goes back to my old neighborhood. I think it's this bald-headed trick who looks like Moby, who was responsible, named Apperwhite. He was the last person I saw. He was into ladyboys. He moved to Thailand. Again, I got to be a detective with this type of shit because it's the only way I can figure out what's going on. But they were supposed to be put in my path by the demiurge to punish me in a way if I show my spiritual abilities and talents. But the thing that I don't get is Madonna's allowed to be spiritual, but in a dark way, into energy vampire off of people. And going back to what I saw about her stolen blessings, her ability and so-called right to steal people's blessings being protected by God, and I believe usually very spiritually powerful people, it makes me realize that there's something very, very unfair and fucked up going on underneath the surface. Something very, very fucked up that shouldn't be. Because why are some people like the Illuminati, from what I understand, the Illuminati are the right-hand people to the demiurge. And they're meant to keep a lid on every fucking thing in our society. They even run Istanbul with the demiurge, from what I understand. And they're meant to keep people heavily oppressed. Like, people, when that whole Pizzagate thing, I'm trying to articulate myself as best as I can, broke out, a lot of people were like, how are these people able to get away with this shit, not only legally, but spiritually? And it's because they're protected by God, the demiurge. From what I'm finding out with this curse, they're allowed to punish innocent but spiritually powerful people or truth tellers. Simply because they're real and they speak their peace. And they have great spiritual powers. They may have never raped anybody or murdered anybody, but they're protected. And folks wonder, how does that happen? I had to pull like a part of my consciousness back in just now because I'm being harassed by some evil shit. You know, I got shit yanking at my consciousness right now that's being done by that fucking tulpa, Santa Muerte, and just all this evil shit, Zeus that I got, and I'm having my entity attachments being manipulated by these evil people. From what I understand, another guy who I knew who drove a blue town and country, who did meth, he was an MK Ultra victim. His higher self actually came a couple of times trying to rescue me during the course of this curse. He put that shit in me from what I understand. But, you know, like I said, I'm just trying to get to the heart of the truth and figure out exactly what's going on. Now, with that being said, you know, people always wonder, you know, how is the Illuminati, how are these people able to get away with this shit? And it's because they're protected by God, you know, which is very, very fucked up. That's why, you know, these people can get away with raping children, sacrificing innocent fucking people, placing innocent people in fucking hell realms. Because it's not about moral merit more than it's about how much you kiss the demiurge's ass. That's why, you know, I hate to say it, but the fake Jews actually have a lot of favor with the demiurge or God. They call them the synagogue of Satan. I hate to say it. I don't like to talk about them people because I have nothing against them for nothing. You know, during Apperwhite, they sacrifice chickens, much like the Illuminati sacrifices people. The Illuminati, all you need to use is 1248 hertz frequency to combat them. And that's supposed to be like some type of high level frequency that's very, very powerful. You know, I saw in the spirit world that they're trying to make Zendaya. You know, they've been giving a lot of, you know, them and them people on the PCH been giving Zendaya and them a lot of my fucking spiritual powers and abilities. You know, I saw a lot of weird MK Ultra shit going on with her. You know, I kept seeing a 71, 72 Niagara Way, where, you know, from what I understand, going back to the original timeline where I got taken out of my body and replaced, as well as here. You know, from what I understand, her mother owns a crystal jewelry spiritual shop, high level type witch or some shit. The Illuminati is trying to poise her to become the next, you know, steal my successorship to be the next Hecate and give it to her. As well as, you know, put her up, you know, on stealing folks' blessings, which she already has, from what I saw in the astral plane. I remember having a dream where I was situated on a river with a bunch of other people after being in an apartment that had like 200 some people in there. It was a one big old room apartment in Hollywood. And then there was another one as well. I'm trying to think, where we were all living under the bridge. And I keep hearing these people say that I'm supposed to live under the bridge in 4 years. So please, again, look out for me spiritually. Send positive spiritual vibes. Pray for me. Call on the source. I need help. Because I don't have anything to work with. All the shit that I got within me, except that spirit guide and ancestors and a couple of entity attachments, including of Jesus, and are trying to sacrifice me. And I don't really have anything good to work with. Everything is compromised, including Baron Samedi. That shit's fucked up. You know, looking back on it, I wish I would have conferred with the real one. As well as his higher self. His higher self ain't shit. With that being said, you look at these people. And you wonder to yourself, these evil motherfuckers, how do they get ahead? And it's because they're protected by God. They're looked out for by God. And from what I'm now understanding, from what I'm experiencing with this curse, when you live in the realm of God or the demiurge, you know, like for instance, when I saw the guru system and how people who are spiritually powerful are supposed to get controlled in the demiurge system, as well as get punished for their spiritual gifts, it seems to me that the more spiritually powerful you are and the more you tell truths, the more you get fucked with, and the more you do what the demiurge wants, which is to hurt children, hurt people, hurt kids. This is why it's important that we move towards a realm of light. The more you get rewarded. There was a guy who actually met the demiurge, and there was a transcript done about it called "Tricked by the Light," and he was talking about how that motherfucker likes to feed on pain and suffering. With the exception of that spirit guide, I have nothing but shit that's in my consciousness that just wants to make me a sacrifice to some degree. And I feel like that was influenced by them, but that was crazy. I was trying to delete more video because, oddly, in the past, it seemed like I could go on forever, but oddly, it kept saying that I need to free up more space. And when I did, it kept showing like the rotating thing to, like I said, I'm gonna have to do something about this today. I'm gonna do a tarot reading and then, try to work on this, because this is pure fucking evil to be removing people's soul consciousnesses and their whole consciousness and giving it to other fucking people and pawning it off when they don't have any right. And it seems to me like my God and Baron Samedi is making it right for them to be able to do it. This is evil. Our entity attachments have spirits that's connected to them. And, just something ain't right. Something ain't right. I'm being fucked with very, very bad. I'm being fucked with very, very bad by some evil shit. With that being said, from what I'm seeing in the spirit plane, there's a reason why inequality reigns supreme in our world. Again, from what I understand, it's not about moral merit in this realm more than it's about spiritual. And so the more materialistic you are, you could be a murderer, rapist, or whatever. Just like the Bible itself says, God is a jealous God. The less you show off your spiritual powers and the more materialistic and shallow, because I keep hearing, from these entities that when I got taken out of my body, going back to that timeline, hopefully these people don't try to use all of this knowledge against me, but going back to when I got taken out of my body, going back to when I got taken out of my body. Not, after revealing that, they fucking with my entity attachments. This is some evil shit. Going back to the timeline where I got taken out of my body on August 22nd, 2022, and I got replaced by a woman. I think her name is Veronica Gilgy, or Veronica, she's going by Ashley Hampstead, or Jessica De La Torre, or Veronica Terrere of Destrehan, Louisiana. There was supposed to be some young lady who used to do makeup tutorials on YouTube who, out of jealousy, these same people who cursed me going back to 2014, the blonde-haired lady and all of that, decided to curse her out of jealousy and placed her in a real roach realm where she could literally see giant cockroaches crawling all over her and everything. She was taken out by a very evil, sadistic entity. I don't know what's going on with that. And placed in my body and allowed the soul swap. And I keep hearing, and then at first she was sold out to like high-end Hollywood clientele. I keep hearing an Arnold Schwarzenegger and his son. Bania that he had with that he had with a Mexican housekeeper. So I want to say household, a housekeeper. And then later on, they put her in Hollywood and gave her, just like they did with Kanye West, they put a roach attachment in them. That's very, very, very intelligent. In my case, they put her in a roach attachment by the name of Rosie that looked like this. Body. And like I was saying before, they took me out and basically placed me in the roach realm where I had all of my blessings and including physical attributes, in the astral plane, but close enough to the physical. Because there's been scientific studies wondering on where consciousness comes from and all of that, and it's the astral plane. Taken from out of my body and given to her. And so basically I've been getting astral body harvested, as well as having my blessings harvested in spiritual powers, as well as my right to Hecate, funneled all the way to her. And from what I understand, Zendaya in that timeline is supposed to be worth 300 million. I'm not really sure. I'm wondering if it's this timeline or what. There's a lot of truths that I gotta say, but one of the things I was told by these malicious entities, I saw a guy putting her in his truck and then ferrying her off to my body in my timelines. And every time I would try to get in that timeline, they kept using the Rubik's Cube to keep it hidden. I keep hearing in the spirit plane, Let me try to get my thoughts together because I just forgot something. I was trying to say something, but they keep interrupting my consciousness and fucking with my memories and so forth and so on. I keep hearing from these people, including the guy in the truck. I was told that the reason why he let that Mexican Bianca, she goes by a white name now, more Anglo-Saxon, like a brown or white or whatever. Bianca Zapata, the reason why he let her have my blessings is because I wasn't going to become shit. And I keep hearing in the spirit world, the reason why they keep blocking me from getting back into my body in my original timeline is because I don't do, it's because I'm not materialistic. I'm not shallow. I don't do what they want me to say. I don't say what they want me to do. And I kept hearing as a refrain during this curse. From what I understand, the evil motherfuckers envied my personality and consciousness and even stole that from the astral plane. They want my consciousness to be significantly different. That's why I have to be very discerning about what's going on spiritually and psychically with this curse. Because they want me to change my consciousness so I no longer be the person that they envied and I become a shell of myself, which I hate to say it, I've ultimately become, which they could take advantage of. With that being said, fast forward to now. From what I'm understanding, they keep fucking with my consciousness really fucking bad. This is some evil shit. I'm gonna end up doing like a 3-part series on this. From what I'm understanding with this evil ass curse, because this is evil, through Mikey Hernandez and Santa Muerte and all of that, and that Maria Santana motherfucker at that Santa Muerte shop. I keep getting deliberately blocked from accessing my original timelines and getting back into my body. And they keep using that sadistic tulpa that I showed you just now, Dan Arcienega, to be able to do that. All you need is 6666 hertz frequency on them, as well as 432 hertz frequency to do something about them. And for the other 666 hertz frequency works and so forth and so on. This is some diabolical shit. I can hear this shit. And I keep feeling something like fucking core out my consciousness. Every time I'm about to say something significant, that's why get people or feeling that be appearing as schizophrenic when they try to talk about these issues because they fucking with their consciousness really, really, really bad. And they'll oftentimes get permission from the demiurge or, I heard it's something real dark that these people worship, but I believe it's the demiurge, but just it's something that the Illuminati worships. Again, I'm just going to say it like this. Look up Zenu, Satan. They don't say synagogue of Satan for nothing. Thanks Starship Troopers. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. They even had some about, there's entities. I'm trying to clarify my thoughts. They say that, from what I heard during this curse, that roach attachments control consciousness in the Unity verse. And there's an entity called Niggamuk. They actually show them in Independence Day. They look like giant cockroaches that runs your consciousness. So with that being said, I got these evil ass fucking people in the spirit world. I'm gonna go ahead and go around the corner to see the tow shop that he's supposed to be in his RV. That fuck with your that are blocking me from being able to get back into a physical body, into my body. And I saw Santa Muerte have been killing off my astral body and all of that. This is a lot to fucking deal with, and it's extremely unfair to be happening to somebody that didn't do anything to deserve anything of this magnitude, something this evil, where you have to hold on to your thoughts. You have to be extremely careful of your fucking thoughts. You can't think or freely say what you want. I kept hearing at the onset of this curse that this was some type of punishment by the demiurge for being outspoken about him and wanting me to praise him and all of that and not tell the truth about him. And they keep telling me, like Alex Nascimento, that entity keeps saying, we're going to test you and make sure you don't say this and say that, to get back your shit. So it's very tiered. I'm dealing with some evil ass entities that's acting as gatekeepers and shit, and I don't like it. But with that being said, fast forward to now, and I'm trying to get the clarity of truth on this. It's like every single day I try to build myself up every single night, and me and my spirit guide just keeps getting torn down. This is evil. I saw within my own soul consciousness entity attachments, as well as what, they keep doing weird shit like taking my consciousness, especially my child consciousness, the last of what I got left, which connects me to my spirit guide, and dividing it into entity attachments for Madonna, for Zendaya, and there was a bunch of other people that were involved and still are. And I'm trying to remember. And I even saw Madonna, an entity attachment of hers, her soul consciousness encased in mine. I'm going to try to find out later on about what her highest self's real name is, because I need to get out of this shit, because it's going to get even worse and deadly. Well, this is some evil shit to put on somebody, and to block somebody from getting spiritual help is the worst. And every time I try to get better. Me and my spirit guide tries to work to make it get better. It gets worse and worse. And that Santa Muerte is hard to get away from. That's all these motherfuckers. They're in Samedi, from what I understand. All these evil motherfuckers have set it up for me to get sacrificed to her, but I still don't know about what's going on with him. All I know is that I'm being set up as a sacrifice, me and my spirit guide, by some very malevolent, evil-ass fucking forces that want us as a sacrifice and to torment us. For the rest of from what I'm being told, life, afterlife. You know, every single night I have my consciousness torn fucking up and every fucking thing else, and I felt some just drop a ball on my consciousness just now, and they keep fucking with that spirit guide, that child spirit guide. All because motherfuckers are intimidated by what I know. Anyways, with that being said, let me try to get to the rest of what I need to say. These evil motherfuckers be having me inexplicably stink. Like, I'm going to show y'all something real quick. Get what I got up here. Get what I got up here. Stetson. Ain't no way in hell I should be stinking. I got a shower. I ain't homeless on the fucking streets. No way in hell I should be stinking. I'll sit in the mess hall, not the mess hall, but the kitchen area where they serve foods here. And people will fucking leave and start gagging like this motherfucker smells like a trash can. She smells like shit. And I don't know what to do, and it's horrible. I keep having something fuck with the front of my consciousness and everything. It's scary. I believe Baron Samedi just did that shit. Manipulating my spirit guide. It's something evil that's meant to really take me out of my body, my consciousness. This is evil, and every time I try to tell the truth, they try to thwart me. You know, I feel like it's these evil-ass entities trying to turn my entity attachments against me. So with that being said, I'm going to have to do something about all this shit. This is going to have to come to an end because this is fucked up. You know, the inner turmoil, that's the torment, really, that's going on within. So anyways, with that being said, from what I understand, when I got to high school, you know, you have your timelines, and then your timelines to show where you're at. Most people will be in a vehicle or they'll be taking a bus. And most of the kids had cars. Meanwhile, I was pushing a shopping cart. And that's because I felt, even back then, and I had a young girl who was a psychic tell me this, that I was going to end up becoming a prostitute, which was part of Baron Samedi's curse, which was nowhere near as sadistic as what I'm experiencing right now. Nowhere near. And that I was going to, without saying it, from what I'm finding out, kind of like going back to what I was saying, that if you're part of Baron Samedi's bloodline, he'll envy the fuck out of you. And he'll want to covet your spiritual abilities and powers if you have strong spiritual powers. And like I said, I'm supposed to be the successor to Hike. And I'm going to say this right now. I know some people may be like, oh, Hike, you're supposed to overpower that shit. But if your machine, if aspects of you are fucked up and are against you and are breaking you down, like your boy Sergeant Barnes on Platoon once said, I just saw white around my crown chakra. I feel like my soul is starting to leave my body. When a machine breaks down, you break down. When different components of you break down, it's like a person who comes from a broken home. When you come from a broken home, it's not like you can go back and have a leg to stand on and have somebody to stand on. You don't have that luxury, and your home is the backbone of what makes you. It's your hip, it's your back. I just felt something tear apart my not a coccyx, but not my hip, but the back of my body, my backbone, spine, my astral spine. Just now, I felt something fuck with it. And I'll say this inwardly, you can use 694 hertz frequency as well as 925 hertz frequency. For this, I don't feel fully physical. I don't feel like I got bones or sinew or any of those things in me. So I know something done happened, and I'm not in the regular physical world. I'm not in the regular 3D. But anyways, with that being said, I saw a shopping cart. I was pushing a shopping cart. And that was going back way before I even got sacrificed to my freshman year in high school. Meaning I was meant to be a sacrifice because I was going to inevitably go down the road of the spiritual path and get punished by the demiurge. Again, I was supposed to get blessed with a lot of material shit. If I didn't go down that route, if I would have went to De La Salle, I would have got blessed. And I would have got blessed. And from what I'm understanding, I was destined to be stuck under curses for being spiritually powerful. And for later on in life, speaking a lot of spiritual truths. I just felt like an entity attachment. Madonna's entity attachment fuck with something. Fuck with something on my astral body. So basically it was set up that I was destined to go down a very, very, very negative path. All because I was going to end up becoming spiritual and to get punished for it by this evil, sadistic motherfucker, the demiurge. Again, it reminds me of how Alex Nascimento, appearing as Isaac Mizrahi, was saying, if you have Jews that you're carrying on an airplane, you got to keep them hidden because people going to steal your shit. It's funny, I learned during this curse that in the astral plane, we actually are built with all sorts of rocks and crystals and stones. You know, I saw with Zendaya's, hers are very fragile diamonds and all of that. Mine's is cold hard rocks, feldspar and all of that. That's supposed to protect you and also, in a way, be symptomatic of and define the life path that you're going down. Anytime you have rocks, that means you're going down a very hard timeline that's going to, especially spiritual, that's going to require a lot of spiritual abetment to help your ass out. You know, so with that being said, right then and there, I was being destined and outlined to go down a very fucked up, impoverished path where I was going to be stuck in hell realm after hell realm after hell realm. And that's exactly where I've been stuck. So with that being said, I called myself a Satanist when I was in high school. I reached out at the time to Satan, and he was actually integral. He was going to set it up that I die at the age of 50. He was actually integral to helping me get on those talk shows and on those reality TV shows. And without him, I would have never gotten anywhere. I would have never gotten anywhere without Satan. He allowed me to get on Rock of Love with Brett Michaels, Game Show Networks Without Prejudice. You know, he was actually one of the entities to come in, him and Beelzebub, and were extremely fair towards me. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, I remember this curse is so bad that I breathed a sigh of relief when I was in his realm one night. And I felt his demons that are a lot like what you saw in that film, Ghost, at the end. I felt relief. I was like, thank goodness he's here. Thank goodness Satan is here. I used to call him Lord Satan back in the day. I was one of his biggest worshipers. Him and Beelzebub. See, this is dangerous to be going into a person's consciousness because, like I said, I'm gonna be trying to do things to alleviate, you know, what I'm going through. It's gonna be hard, but I'm gonna have to do what I got to do. Like when I was playing some frequencies the other day, I can hear my spirit guide damn near dying, and I also lost like a big old fucking timeline as well as a result. And, you know, from what I understand, that was set up by Baron Samedi, as well as them three evil people, to keep me from being able to escape the curse and to get back in my body. You know, Santa Muerte again is involved in that. Maria Santana at that Santa Muerte shop, that Botanica right up the street. They keep me fucking with my lone spirit guide. You know, it's really, really fucking bad. And it's hard for me to articulate it here, but to the point where I don't even know if I'm calling on her for help. I don't even know if it's her. They keep fucking with her really, 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 really bad. And trying to estrange me as much as possible from calling, you know, different entities, God, the source, anything out for help. You know, it's like they're trying to keep me in a bind, and there was actually a guy who saw that. Please cover him in protection and make sure nothing happens to him. So with that being said, carrying on with what I was saying, if it wasn't for Satan, I would have never been able to do those shows. And he was the only God to allow me to be able to do them. Baron Samedi and his highest self put me under a curse. I believe it was making a deal with a teacher of mine's back in high school, Miss Preston, who I remember she was talking with the students about us, about bumping cats with each other. And again, I was a very studious, intelligent young lady. It kills me, and it kills my parents to this day to see, I'm just going to say it right now. I even had a spiritualist say to me, who's been helping me, that my life is a tragedy. I believe I died in my sleep, and it shouldn't have ended up that way. It's not right. It's not right. And to have the little bit of spiritual protection you're torn from me, it hurts. It hurts the way in which I'm being fucking harassed, victimized, tormented by really evil, sick, sadistic, fucking powerful entities who are working with powerful people that are outside of myself to destroy me and keeping me stuck in the mental quandary, which I refuse to do. They tried to do that with my mama, where they were rearranging and switching around her consciousness and telling her, you gotta go through this and that. And my mom was like, get the fuck out of here. It hurts. I heard and actually felt and saw in the original timeline on August 22nd, 2022. I heard that they took that timeline out of me, my connection to it. But my parents died in their sleep. They got taken out of their sleep by the girl who took over my body and removed and replaced. I heard that when Lil Wayne would fuck me in that timeline, not me in that body, but somebody else in my body. It felt like fucking a giant cockroach. But anyways, my parents got taken out of their body. And they're very protective of their timeline for some strange fucking reason. So I know something had to have happened. My parents, by this entity that took over my body, got killed in their sleep, placed in roach realms where my father had his eyes gouged out. And I heard that he's still in hell realms to this motherfucking day. They keep, and this is, look at, my brother, from what I understand, died from this curse before it hit me in 2012. He had an entity telling him to do bad things. I heard he was connected to, or it was, Alex Nascimento, who wanted him and actually had him for a while as a sacrifice. That was following him around, fucking with him. You look at the picture right here of my brother, and you can see right there, this is supposed to be my dad in the future from that timeline, of getting stuck in hell realms. I even heard the other day that they pulled him out of his body. I'm looking out ashy and every fucking thing, not in a normal aspect, but like somebody caught in the hell realm themselves, very, very white and pale and dead. But anyways, with that being said, this entity that you see right behind him that I have kind of colored, that's supposed to become him. And look at how they fucked with his consciousness. They keep fucking with his consciousness and making him into a homosexual. I keep hearing all sorts of weird things in the astral plane. And I'll be honest with you, in my own consciousness, I keep hearing the fucking people put this curse on me constantly, 24/7. But this is supposed to become my dad. This evil, ugly entity that was, from what I understand, supposedly fucking with my brother or something back in 2012, right before he committed suicide. with that being said, the pact got set for me to be stuck in hell realms from what I'm understanding. As part of the latest, Alex Nacimiento, like I said before, when I was about to start breaking free of this curse and coming into my power and working with my spirit guide, they totally destroyed me. They totally destroyed her. They destroyed her consciousness. They killed her off. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago, you know, from what I understand, Alex Nacimiento that night had placed my body in the blender and made sure that I could never get back up. And so I've been under strong spiritual oppression, to the point of fucking death. I believe I did die going back a couple of months ago. To the point of that. With that being said, from what I understand, when I started getting help from a lot of Mexicans in the spirit plane, I was calling on, it got so bad that higher selves ain't shit. They're a compromise with the people who put this curse on me. And from what I understand, they're in that original timeline going back to where I died in my sleep on August 22nd, 2022. A lot of them, my spirit guides, as part of this curse, a lot of my shit, it's supposed to be governed by ancestors, but instead got governed by evil ass fucking people. From what I understand, the people who put this shit on me, they put sacrifice angels on me or whatnot to try to sacrifice my ass. They stood at the hilltop of what they call that Sunset Mesa in Malibu, and were looking at me one night and putting this shit on me. And they put it on a guy I used to see out there. He looked like Buddy Holly, white dude. He used to pay me. They put some shit on him too as well, and were staring at him. It could be these people.